contest gold ring in my pocket. Looking for a good time, here we got it. We got.
Hey everyone, it's Jamie with SportsReds.com again. Back here for episode 8 of our podcast. Sticking with the youth baseball, youth softball that we started a couple nights ago with salt, pepper, and don't forget the sugar. With me and Milliken talking a little bit about the new regulations and whatnot. Tonight, our guest is Kelli Long. I joked with Ryan the other day, calling her the softball guru. But we haven't had any softball people in here, and one of the first people that we thought of was to bring on was Kelli. So Kelli, I guess for starters, how long you been doing softball?
Oh, a long time. Let's see. Michaela's 30 and she was 6 when she started. So almost 25 years. And
with and right now you which I just made the joke to you that you had your Viking shirt on, but
yes, I do.
Right now you're coaching what, 8U, is that correct, or is it 10U?
Well, I'm actually going to 10U this year.
Okay, but you're coaching in the rec league in Benton County.
Yes.
And you want to tell us a little bit about that team that you have right now?
Yeah, I've been up there for I think this will be my 3rd year that I've been up in Benton County, and I absolutely love it. Love the kids up there. The rec league has really came a long way. When I first started, I believe we started at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4 weeks behind everybody else's rec league. And so other teams were playing games, and we were probably, I don't know, 2-3 weeks behind games. So Dennis McKibben runs that league up there,
right,
which he does a great job. Puts a lot of time and effort into it, but it just the program was never a strong program. Softball, I can only speak for softball, but it has really, really strengthened up. We went from having kids that didn't know anything to really learning the fundamentals. And even last year we paired up with some of the Wellston kids, had a travel team, went to a tournament, played awesome.
Right. Yeah. Ryan mentioned that for the listeners that made it through all 90 minutes of Frank. Yeah, he did get into that a little bit and said you guys won the tournament at South Charleston, which our baseball teams have played a lot of tournaments there, and to go down there and win there, is a pretty good accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
So with the one thing when I was kind of had my hand in the Make Wellston Beautiful thing, and you was coaching there, and you was coaching Eric Peterson. The one thing that stuck out to me, as far as kind of your coaching, strategy, however you want to say them, is it seems like you take those kids and they become your daughter very quickly.
They do. They really do. I just love them. I just connect with some of them, with all of them really. And you got your great athletes, and then you got your kids that struggle. But I have that feeling with all of them. It doesn't matter. For me, coaching for me it's not just the game. There's way more to it than just the game for me. And I know you and Ryan talked a little bit about the other night, and I think you and Jay did last night, just about teaching them respect for other teams, good sportsmanship. Winning, of course, is very important to me because I don't like to lose at anything.
Right.
But with Benton County, they were so weak. We didn't win anything in the first year. They didn't know what winning was like. And then once they started winning, it's my grandson in the background. Once they started winning, it felt good for them to win. And yet when they lost, I taught them to lose in a way that was respectful. There's always going to be a winner. There's always going to be a loser. I would prefer to be the winner, but I know it don't always work that way. But just in the last couple of years, like that second year with them, actually, I think this might be my 4th year with Benton County.
Mama, he's talking to.
I think it is going to be my 4th year with Benton County, because the first 2 years we were pretty weak, and then last year they started winning a lot of games. Hold on, buddy.
He's talking to you.
See him right there?
Yeah.
They started winning a lot of games last year, and then I think we ended up second in the league with Wellston, and we had one team beat us down there, and I think it was a 7-6 ball game. I think ended up getting second in the league, and then I took the All-Stars, and they actually placed in tournaments. And from my understanding, that's the first time Dennis said he could even remember Benton County ever even winning a game in an All-Star game, let alone, I think we got second. Was it second we got in the tournament? Second or third we got in one of the tournaments. So it was really a big deal for Benton County. They have the heart for it now. Like, it's almost like, and people tell me that I have that effect, that I bring out that heart in the kids. I make it fun, but they learn, and they win now, and that's a big deal. When you're like, I think Jay said last night, when you're not winning, they're not having fun.
Right.
It's really brings their confidence down. So once they started winning, they really powered up. I mean, I'm really proud of them girls. I'm with a group that I started with when I first started in Benton County through 8U, and that's why I've actually moved to 10s now, because most of them have gone to 10s, the ones that I originally started coaching, and I want to go with them all the way.
Right now, so basically, I guess I'm asking, we being this late getting started with everything that's been going on, obviously travel ball coaches are chomping at the bit. Tournament directors are chomping at the bit to get tournaments started.
Yeah.
We are kind of trying to decide whether or not they're able and are okay from a liability standpoint and facilities to be able to do the rec leagues. What I tried to stress, my belief to it, and I know everybody's got an opinion, which is fine, but I think everyone I've talked to so far, and it sounds like you'll kind of fall in line with this as well, is the travel ball side of it is very, very. I mean, it's some of the funnest times I've ever had with my kids and other.
Oh my gosh, me too. Me too.
But to build a program, and whether we're talking about Wellston or Benton County or even over here in Point Pleasant, the rec league is very important. And if some of those kids miss out on 1 year, even though they might not be that much of a baseball or softball player at the moment, but odds are, I hate talking 30%, they're going to come back and play baseball or softball. After sitting a year out, it's just the probability of it. So,
I agree.
So you was talking about the fundamentals that and basically what what I hear when I say that is basically talking about building the foundation of softball, baseball players, so then you can be successful down the road. But I guess what are some of the things that you do with your team on a daily basis, to make sure you instill the fundamentals of the game?
I'll tell you, we work on defense a lot, a whole bunch actually. Back when Michaela and them was young, Michaela's age group, Lambert, Michaela, Aaron Sturgill, all them, they had the most solid defensive team I've ever seen, coached. And so that's always one of my biggest goals, is getting that defense down. And like I said, when we first started up there, wow. I mean, I don't even know that we had a kid that could throw the ball from, well, I know they couldn't throw from shortstop to first, probably from second to first. So we work on that. We work on, I mean, I do so many drills just getting them to get down on the ball, stay down on the ball. You know, I'm constantly telling butt down, butt down. And girls are tough. I mean, everybody's always boys, 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 but these girls are tough.
Sure.
I mean, they take a beating. We do work on hitting a lot too. I mean, because of course you got to have, to win the game, you got to have runs, but hitting has come pretty good for them. Shane usually works with them on hitting a lot. I've got Greg Powell. He helped me a lot in Benton County. We've got, well, Stony Sickles, I just talked to him earlier tonight. We were talking about how bad we thought it was going to be if we lose this season. And, you know, Benton County's already made a decision. They're not going to have the rec league.
Okay. That was what I was actually going to ask that next, what they were, thoughts were up there.
Yeah, they voted last Friday. And I think they just decided that because of all the new rules, that it was just a big liability. Myself, I want to play. I said, I don't care if I got to wrap my whole body in a mask. I'll play. I'll wear it.
I've watched you coach. You would not do very well coaching with a mask on.
Probably not. Hey, there are tournaments, you know. We go to quite a few tournaments that the pitcher can't say a word.
Right.
Played down in Waverly. Pitcher is not allowed to say a word. Now you imagine how hard that is for me.
Right. Yeah, Shane will probably have to duct tape you underneath the mask.
Hey, but you know, I did hear today, and I don't know if it's true because I didn't watch the whole governor today, but I seen on one of the softball pages that I'm on that they said something about they were changing the guidelines today. Did you hear anything about it?
Well, all I seen today from what do they call that? Have wine with the wine or whatever.
Yeah.
The only I didn't listen to it today, but the only thing I did see is that he is looking at opening up in-person training for athletes. I don't know exactly what that means, but he's supposed to go into more detail about it tomorrow.
Well, what I saw, and like I said, it was on Facebook, so of course, you know, everything on Facebook's true, but it said something about they were reconsidering the masks, like the kids wearing the masks or whatever. So like, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because I was busy, but I saw that and I kind of wondered, and I thought I need to go back through and look and see what they're saying about that, because I know masks was a big issue with Benton County. And like you and Ryan talked, kids not having their own helmets, kids not having their own bats.
Right.
A lot of kids wouldn't even get a play if it wasn't for programs helping the children even pay that fee to get in, let alone buy everything else that they got to have. Plus you got, you know, people that's got multiple 2-3 kids. Sure.
Right.
And then you start talking buying bats and helmets and pants and everything that they got to have. I really would think, though, majority of people, I think, are going to provide that. Like, most of my girls have their own helmet anyway. Most of them have their own bat. They might not want to use their own bat. They want to use somebody else's, but most of them have it. And I think like Make Wellston Beautiful, or like the committee in Benton County, I mean, I would think that if the kids needed it and they didn't have it, like, they could help provide those things for them.
Right. And the one thing I do want to say too, while I'm thinking about it before we get into anything else, I've met Dennis a couple times. You know, I know Jason pretty well, and I've talked to Chad Zins several times, and I don't remember exactly what year it was. I think it was like 2014 or 2015 when I moved back to Wellston. And, you know, Benton County, basically all their kids was going to Athens to play. So then they wouldn't even start their league until the Athens Sandlot League was over, which is what you was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So in the last 5 or 6 years, I mean, Benton County, and I remember playing against Benton County teams from the boys side of it. And, you know, we had like an hour and 15 time limit, and rarely we would get through 2 or 3 innings, and it would be bad. But and I'm not slamming Benton County in any way, shape, or form. What I'm trying to say is, those guys up there have done great things in the last 4 or 5 years to get it to where it's respectable, to get it to where kids want to play there instead of going to Athens or even come to Wellston.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of kids in Wellston. So they have done an excellent job up there, and the last time I've been by, the fields look a lot better than they used to look, and but with these guidelines that were set, I hope he does change them, because like me and Ryan was talking about, I don't know how it's feasible. Just kind of like these restaurants opening back up, and they haven't been open for 2.5 months. So everything's a little rusty. They're the way they do things, and then you got all these guidelines that they got to follow. So now you send around people to find them when they're not following the guidelines. When they're trying. But if I just think if the regulations are necessary that they put out last week, then I don't think that it's ready to. It's time to play baseball and softball. If it's got to be that aggressive as far as kids wearing masks in a dugout and and whatnot. But so hopefully what you've seen is correct, and hopefully they are adjusting.
I hope. And it said for Ohio, so I don't know. I was going to look a little bit into it tonight and see what I could find, but and I get it. Like I said, I know it would be tough, and there's a lot of things with it I don't agree with. Like, seriously, they can't chew gum. But then I also seen today where starting June 1st, there can be 300 people at a wedding.
Right.
So,
and swimming pools are allowed to open up.
And swimming pools, but kids can't play a little bit of ball. It pisses me off.
So what are your plans this summer with the?
Well, I think Milliken and I are going to take. I think our plan is to do Benton County and Wellston again. Do half and half, like we did last year. Normally, if we had the rec season, we would have had some all-stars, and then we would have went into that, which is what we did last year. We played the season, then we took all-stars, and then we took what we thought was the best out of Wellston's and Benton County's all-stars and made one team, and then went down there and played.
Right.
And they were pretty awesome. Yeah, and they played so good together. And there again, that's a rivalry, but they made friendships, like great friendships. They had fun together, learned about each other, met each other. We always joked about Wellston and Benton County. Of course, I always say, let's go down to Wellston and kick their butts. But I love those Wellston kids, and I loved coaching them last year. It was a lot of fun and getting back with them. Of course, I wouldn't give up my Benton County girls for anything now, but I think Milliken and I are, depending on what happens, what Wellston decides. Now, I heard earlier that Wellston is supposed to have, I think someone said a meeting tomorrow. Someone messaged me earlier and said that.
Right.
To decide what they're going to do. I heard Jackson's that they're playing a rec league. I really hope that if that happens and Wellston does, I hope Benton County changes their mind, because it is a big deal. It's important. I'm like you. I'm all about travel. Love travel. I spent my whole life doing that with my own kids.
Right.
Then I've kind of did it a little bit with my niece. Did a little bit with some Wellston kids. Didn't even have a relative there, just because I love it. But fundamentally, they need that. And I'm like you. I think losing a year, it's going to hurt. I think it's going to hurt a lot of kids, and it's going to probably take a lot away from the programs.
Right. So what we keep going. Obviously, like I've said to Corey Camden and Jay and Ryan and everybody that I had on here, that coaching as much as I have and with as many people as I have, and the coaching experience that, of everybody that's been on here, and yours is right there with everybody's. What are some of the things that stick out when you look back at all your years of coaching?
Well, I thought about bringing out a couple of my big trophies because I knew you said the other night something about your trophies behind you, and I've got some that's
Right.
they're about as big as I am, about 4 foot tall.
Right.
There's nothing I didn't love about it. Like I said, Michaela started when she was 6. I think we started traveling when she was probably 8. I think because when we first started, it was boys and girls together.
Right.
That's how long ago it was. The first couple years that Shane and I coached, we had boys and girls together, and then
Was that when they were doing, like, the girl would hit the small softball and the boy would hit the baseball?
I think we used the same ball, baseball. Yeah, the first year was baseball, I'm pretty sure. And then actually I think we like that for 2 years maybe, or one, just one, Shane says. And then they split them. So the first year they must have used baseballs, and then that second year when they split and the girls went with the 10-inch ball, then that's when we started having all-stars. Back then we went in, we met at the city building, we voted, took an all-star team, and girls played like that for years. Michaela, Amber, Aaron, Fleming, Lindsay Bob from Benton County come down and played, Amber King, Brandy Fowler. There was just so many of them. Great group. And I traveled with them till, I'm thinking when Shayna started, my dad and Scott Sturgill started coaching that group of girls.
Right.
And I'm thinking that was probably 12U, maybe 14, probably 12, because Shayna started traveling when she was 7.
Right.
And then I coached them kids, Randy Folden and I, and Linda Davis, Rob Mullins. There were several of us over the years that coached those kids. And then I coached Shayna till, she started playing for team out of Portsmouth a couple years, and then a couple out of Lancaster a couple years. So I think till she was like 16. And she played clear through till she was 19, and then went to college and played a little bit.
Right.
And then that's when I got back into the rec league in Wellston, started coaching them, just because I was out a couple years and I missed it so much. But like over the years, a lot of things have changed and happened, and
So what?
I think traveling is a great experience for the kids. I think it's fun for them. And it's exciting, Sometimes I had a girl, I can remember one of my girls told me, if it wasn't for what we did back when she was young, she would have never really had an opportunity to travel because her family just didn't travel.
Right.
So
what was it? You don't have anything like that playing right now, softball with you, right?
What is it?
You don't have none of your grandkids actually playing on the softball team right now.
Yes, I have one. Brinley, she'll be 9 this year.
Okay.
She's in Benton County.
Right.
So I've coached her the last few years. And then of course I've got the boys in Wellston. I've got Easton and Walker. They'll both play. It'll be Easton's last year, Walker's first year playing. And they were going to be on the same team, which we were excited about. So I hope they get a play. And then the 2 little ones, Case, and he's always got a bat and ball in his hand. But the 2 little I got 5 total grandkids and 1 on the way. So the 2 little ones, they're 2. But I'm sure they'll be playing too.
Yeah, they'll be there before you know it.
Yeah.
So you went to South Charleston with Ryan, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So I've been to tournaments with Ryan several times. And I've stayed at hotels with Ryan several times.
Yeah, me too.
So Give me something that I can get on him about on Friday. I'm sure he did something stupid.
Oh, well, where should I start? um,
I know what you're saying.
well, his daughter is awesome. Kelli is awesome. And, you know, that's another thing I like about coaching these kids and stuff with the travel kids. My granddaughter doesn't play on it. She just plays on the rec team. But they're not my kids, none of them. So, you know, you don't have to hear, oh, they're playing there because that's their kid. They're doing this because that's their kid. We don't have that because none of them are my kids. I'm not related to any of them. And Kelli is awesome. I'll tell you, I'm a little bit scared of pitching to her. She line drive me a couple times last year. Down in that tournament, she line drive me. And of course, I was mad at myself for not getting out of the way, but I thought she broke my shin bone. She got me good. And then she got me in the side. But he's hard on her. And then I hear him talking about, you know, all the boys this and the boys that. And I'm like, the whole time I'm listening, I'm like, let's talk about Kelli a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you this: the last couple of times the last 2 times we've been on, and he's talked about Hunter and talked about Gavin, and you know he always brings up Hunter's attitude. Let's just say that Ryan holds that gas can.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, so Hunter's attitude probably wouldn't be that bad and actually when it starts, I usually grab Ryan first and then go talk to Hunter, like get that away from you.
Well, he's always on Kelli, and I just look at Kelli. I'm out there with her, and I just say, don't even, just act like he's not even there. Me and you, don't even pay attention to him. And I mean, everybody's hard on their kids, of course, you know. And he did. I mean, I think he might have got us kicked out of the pool too.
Ryan, no way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
He blamed me for that the other night. Now I did win the battle royal of the pillow fight with me and the rest of the kids in the hotel room that about got us through out. But I believe the pool thing was him. But
well, we were out there and it got pretty late, and the guy at the front desk was like, you know, you guys need to go into your rooms or whatever. And yeah, Ryan didn't take it too well, but we had a good time. Parents had a good time, kids had a good time, and it was a good tournament. Like the facilities were really nice down there. It's the first time I think I've played down there.
What fields did you guys play
on? Where was that at? What field was it? Do you remember?
Probably Little Creek Park, right?
It was like a maze trying to get back there to the fields.
Yeah. Now, did you play on the turf fields or did you play on the
Yeah, we did.
All right. Did you play up on top with one field or down where there's two?
There was
2 or 3 there. 3
I think there was 2 or 3 there.
Okay. Yeah. So
I know there was 2.
The Rock, I think is what they call it.
That does kind of sound familiar. Yeah. The Rock. Yeah.
All right. So wrapping things up, if you had a chance, if there were softball coaches listening to you, which I mean, we've been getting pretty good following on people doing this stuff, so I'm sure there will be. But what is in your opinion, what's the most important thing, especially coaching girls in softball, and what's the values that need to be
done? I think having fun with them, and with me, I have a lot of fun with them. I mean, we've done some crazy things, but I'm also hard on them. I push them as far as I can push them, and they get mad at me, but they respect me. They never mouth me. They never want to quit. I mean, we have practices and it's dark and I'm like, girls, we got to go. They don't want to leave the field. Fundamentals, definitely, because like I said, when I got to Denton County, I don't know what had been going on, but there really were no fundamentals when I got up there, and we worked on that. Fundamentals, having fun with them, not babying them. We don't baby them. We're hard on them. If they get hurt, I tell them get up. you know. Their
Right.
parents don't come out on the field. Benton County parents are amazing too. I got to say that, but just teaching them the game, like they know the game. When they know the game, they love the game. The more they win, the more they love it. Having fun with it, losing with dignity. Like I said, we like he said last night, you know, you got to teach them to lose with respect too. It can't be, you know, I don't want my kids out there saying, oh, it's the umpire's fault, oh, it's this person's fault. I want them to support each other as a team. You know, last kid struck out, last out, we lost by 1, doesn't mean it was that kid's fault. You know, there were a lot of things that happened throughout the game that could have made a difference. And that's one thing I always try to make the girls understand too.
Yeah, when I talk to kids, you know, especially after close losses, that's one of the things that we have always brought up is, you know, when you get in your car and you've been around it long enough, when you get in your car and mom and dad says, well, the umpire missed this, or the coach did this, or, you know, whatever, you know, as a kid, it doesn't matter if you're 7 or if you're 12 or if you're 14,
Right.
high school. You know, when that kid gets in the car, the parents should tell them that they love them, tell them that they was proud of them. But at the same time, the kid should look back and evaluate themselves throughout the course of that game of what could I have done differently.
Yeah.
If all 9, 10, 12 kids do that and they get better each time they lose, and actually, I mean, they should even do that when they win. And, you know, and if they're doing that from a mental side of it, you know, we've talked about baseball and softball being one of the toughest things that a kid will ever do, you know, as far as sports go. And you're never going to succeed 100% of the time, but every time you fail, you got to learn from it and get better the next time. So you know, so we always, you know, basically told them to assess themselves and when they go home and then come back at practice be ready to be a better player. And if you did that, then obviously, you know, your team's going to be better. So to completely wrap things up, you got anything you want to leave us with?
No, just I just hope that the kids get to play this summer, one way or another. And like I said, I know some of our girls are going to, because Ryan and I, we're going to have a team regardless. We're looking for some tournaments now. We're going to get a few tournaments going, even if they just play in a few. Practice at home. You know, don't quit practicing just because there's not going to be a season, because it does hurt them losing a season. It's going to hurt them. Just encourage the kids to keep playing, keep practicing at home. Hopefully a lot of them can get on teams. I think Ryan and I were going to do 5 and 5, 5 Wellston, 5 Benton County, and then we'll probably pick up an extra 2 to take with us. And I can't wait. I'm beyond ready.
Well,
I mean, at this point, we would have been
everybody that we talked to, and then that's, you know, mine are 12 and 14. So, yeah, I've had people blowing my phone up the last couple of days. You know, where we playing at? You know, we get a team together, and
well, they're probably about to lose their minds, because I am.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean Connor and Carson, which they obviously they've had plenty of time to play Fortnite, so now they think they're YouTubers and they got all these subscribers and all this stuff to Fortnite. But and it's been kind of tough with them trapped in the house to keep.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've never completely kept them away from it. They've always played it, but obviously the outside stuff's always been more important than that. But I mean, right now it's kind of tough to keep them, keep them involved. I mean, I think they're ready to go. I mean, Connor's obviously, getting ready. He'll be a freshman next year. So, then Carson, the one thing he bitches about anytime he gets is how many home runs he was going to hit this year because he was 12 and, not getting any of those opportunities. So, but
yeah, Shayna would have been devastated. That's what I think about the high school kids. Those seniors that lost that, I mean, my girls would have been devastated. That was like such a big deal. Like Shayna's senior year, she was offensive player of the year. I mean, all the awards she got and stuff, that's a big deal to kids, you know, and I hate it for the seniors that they lost that.
Right. Yeah. And it from a graduation standpoint and from the missed school, that when you spend your whole life, that, you know, and we're talking about 17, 18-year-old kids. So it's not like we're talking about 40, 50 years, but when you have kids that spend their whole lives doing all their young years, putting all this work in, and then, you know, to start practice and then it be taken from them.
I know.
It's probably more of a devastation than, you know, not having their last day of school or
Oh, yeah.
have a normal graduation ceremony. I mean, some of those baseball and softball players are probably more devastated about losing the season than they are the other stuff that went on.
Oh, I guarantee it. Like, I feel so bad for him. I hate it for him. And like I said, I know the kids that I coach, even the kids now, the young kids, the 9 and 10-year-olds, like, I've been talking to their parents, and, you know, when we first heard, oh, they're going to allow it, and, you know, then everybody's telling their kids, oh, they're going to allow it, you're going to get a play. And then Benton County decided last week, you know, and then the kids were devastated when they went back and told them they weren't going to get a play. But the seniors, that really.
Yeah. So hopefully, DeWine and his whatever you want to call them, his group of people, you know, we'll look at that and, you know, look at the regulations, because I think the rec leagues are more important than hosting travel ball tournaments. Where,
Oh my gosh, yes.
with the travel ball tournaments, those people are used to spending money and are able to spend money, and
Yep.
those regulations won't hurt them as bad.
Yep.
It's still going to suck, but it will be manageable. But when you try to follow those regulations at a rec league, and, you know,
I
somebody
know.
like Tammy Phillips, or somebody like is Travis still in charge, the one in Jackson, Ruckle, or is it somebody else now?
Well, I'm thinking Ruckles last year was his last year, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
But when you get to talking about them, now you're talking about, you know, one board, one organization trying to manage 300, you know, 200 to 400 kids, and it does get tough, and it is a big liability with all this.
And I think, though, that the coaches, and then, you know, you would just have to have quite a few assistant coaches to help control the kids. I mean, it would definitely take an army to do it, but it can be done.
Right. But hopefully they loosen the regulations up, and that makes
I
it
hope so too.
easier on those leagues to be able to, even if, and I've heard some say that they're just going to start fall ball early, and even if they do that, just something that gets them playing before, you know, football gets here, before volleyball gets here, that hopefully played without too much of a hang up. But obviously, you know, hopefully something can get done where these youth leagues are open.
Yeah, I'm like you. I hope so too.
And then also too, you know, obviously from my perspective, and like you and Ryan talking, and, you know, talking to Jay last night, you know, there's a lot of memories made in 5 or 6 weeks playing travel ball, and so, you know, so all those parents and kids and coaches are wanting that as well. So it's going to be tough the next couple of months to see exactly what happens and how it all plays out. But obviously the biggest thing is safety of the kids, the coaches, the umpires, the parents, and, you know, all that. You don't want this COVID thing to go completely haywire. But, you know, at the same time, if you can, you know, if you're allowed to go swimming in a couple of weeks, and I don't know why you can't be in a dugout with, you know, 9 or 10 of your friends. So
I know it makes no sense to me either.
So, but Kelli, I appreciate you coming on. You know, once you guys get playing, like I told Jay, and I've been wanting to do this for for a couple of years now. Didn't really want it to start this way, as far as talking about kids not playing. You know,
Yeah.
be more of, you know, going Facebook Live and bringing in, you know, a softball coach that just played this weekend, a baseball coach that just played this weekend, and then talk about actual games and statistics, and, you know, how things went and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get a good foundation on this thing while everything's down, and then once things start getting played, we'll bring you back on, and which I can bring you back on with Ryan, and we'll see if you can get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, I was going to say one of these nights I'll come on and I'll be the sugar.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to him about that, because see, the other thing is you can't ever make him happy. That he wanted to be Pepper when Pepper was on. Now Pepper's missing, so now he doesn't want to be Pepper. He wants to be Sugar. The problem is he just can't make up his mind.
Yeah, he's going to have to sacrifice that title whenever I come on with you guys.
All right, well, Kelly, again, I appreciate you coming on, and
Thanks for having me.
we'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one.
All right, thanks.
Mhm.
We got killing time cranked up on the Alpine. I got that skull ring in my pocket, looking for a good time. Here we got it.